Egypt was one of the most advanced and meticulously documented civilizations in the ancient world. Pharaohs kept detailed records of their reigns, military campaigns, construction projects, and religious rituals carved into stone temples and written on papyrus scrolls. Yet nowhere in these vast archives is there a single mention of Moses, a Hebrew slave uprising, or a mass exodus of millions. This silence is deafening. Why would the Egyptians, proud of their empire and conquerors, omit such a dramatic event? It defies logic. Historians argue that such a monumental event would have left unmistakable traces in Egyptian records, especially given the supposed scale of the Exodus. Instead, we find no evidence of widespread slave revolts or the collapse of the Egyptian economy due to the departure of a large workforce. Archaeology similarly fails to support the biblical narrative. Excavations in Egypt and the Sinai Peninsula reveal no signs of a large group of people wandering the desert for 40 years or encamped at Mount Sinai. There are no remains of the vast infrastructure needed to sustain such a migration. No pottery, no tools, no burial sites, no campsites. This absence suggests that the Exodus story is not a literal account, but rather a theological myth constructed to explain the origins of Israel and its relationship with God. Furthermore, the timeline of the Exodus, placed roughly in the 13th or 15th century before Christ, conflicts with known Egyptian history. Pharaohs like Ramses II, often identified with the Pharaoh of the Exodus, left detailed records of their reigns, none of which mention any disaster matching the biblical plagues or a mass departure of slaves. This chronological inconsistency weakens the historical credibility of the story even further. Consider this: if the Egyptians recorded everything else about their empire, why would they omit this event? One plausible explanation is that the story was invented or heavily embellished by later generations of Israelites to create a national myth. Such myths serve to unite people under a common history, provide justification for land claims, and explain their unique relationship with their God. They also serve political purposes, giving authority to religious laws and leaders. The absence of Moses in Egyptian records suggests he was not a historical figure, but a symbolic leader, perhaps inspired by multiple individuals or even entirely fictional. His character embodies the ideals and aspirations of the Israelite people during a time when they sought identity and cohesion. This is